Welcome to Shadow Case Files, where a city elevator didn't just malfunction, it erased people without leaving a single body behind. Tonight, we uncover why the doors kept opening and what it means if they were never meant to close. The building had no past. That was the first red flag. In the heart of the city stood the Marlowe Building, tall, narrow, and silent between newer glass towers. It looked ordinary during the day: offices, fluorescent lights, people carrying coffee. But at night, the windows turned black, and the silence felt heavier. City records claim it was built in 1928. But when journalist Daniel Hamid searched the archives, he found nothing. No construction permits, no architectural drawings, no newspaper coverage of its opening. It was as if the building had simply appeared. That's when the complaints about Elevator 4 started to matter. Tenants described small things at first: the elevator arriving on floors where no one had called it, doors opening to empty hallways, the faint smell of dust inside, like old paper locked away for decades. Then came the night Aisha Karim disappeared. She was 22, a law student, bright, focused. She had stayed late at her uncle's office on the 12th floor. Security footage shows her walking down the corridor just before midnight. The lights flicker once above her head. She presses the button for Elevator 4. The doors slide open. Inside, everything looks normal. She steps in. The doors close. The elevator never reaches the ground floor. At 12:03 a.m., the system logs show a brief power fluctuation, 47 seconds of signal loss. Then nothing. When maintenance inspected the shaft the next morning, they expected to find a malfunction, a jammed car, a mechanical failure. Instead, the elevator was gone. Not at the top, not at the bottom, not between floors. Gone. No wreckage, no cable snapped, no debris, and no Aisha. The building swallowed her without a sound. Police called it a technical error, a possible fall, an unfortunate accident. But Daniel couldn't shake one detail from the footage. Just before the signal cuts out, the elevator indicator panel flickers. Not numbers, symbols, dates. And then, darkness. That was the moment the Marlowe Building stopped being a workplace and became something else. The footage was only 47 seconds long, but it changed everything. Daniel sat alone in his apartment, the glow of his laptop reflecting in his eyes. Outside, traffic moved like normal. Life went on, but on his screen, time was breaking. He replayed the security recording from the 12th floor. Aisha steps into Elevator 4, calm, unaware. The doors close. For the first few seconds, nothing seems unusual. The camera angle is fixed, silent, clinical. Then the floor indicator begins to flicker. Not numbers, not error codes, dates. 1928, 1929, 1930. They flash too quickly to fully register. The lighting inside the elevator shifts, just slightly, as if the bulbs are struggling to decide how bright the present should be. At 12:03 a.m., the timestamp in the corner glitches. The numbers smear, freeze, distort. 47 seconds of corrupted data. Daniel slows the video frame by frame. His breathing grows shallow. When the image stabilizes, the elevator doors are opening again. but not on the ground floor. The hallway outside looks wrong. The wallpaper pattern is different. The lighting is dimmer. There's a faint haze in the air, like smoke from a distant fire. And inside the elevator, Aisha is gone. In her place stands a man. He is wearing a dark suit cut in an old style, narrow lapels, polished shoes, a hat resting low over his brow. He does not move. He does not look confused. He looks directly at the camera, as if he knows it's there. The frame lasts less than a second before the footage skips again. When the picture returns, the elevator is empty. Police analysts labeled it compression artifacts, digital overlap, a corrupted video file. But corrupted files don't create new people. Daniel enhances the image, zooms in to the man's face. The resolution breaks apart into pixels, but one detail remains sharp: the man's expression. Not fear, not surprise. Recognition, as if he has seen that camera before. As if he has been waiting. Daniel leans back, staring at the frozen frame. The room feels smaller now, quieter. Because if that man stepped into the elevator, then where did he come from? And more importantly, when? He came back. That was the part no one could explain. 3 days after security guard Imran Qureshi vanished inside elevator 4, he walked into a downtown police station barefoot and shaking. It was early morning. The lobby was quiet, fluorescent lights humming overhead. Officers said he looked older. Not years older, but changed. His disappearance had been confirmed. CCTV showed him entering the elevator during a routine night shift inspection. The doors closed. The car never reached another floor. System logs showed the same 47-second signal gap. Then, silence. Now he was standing at the front desk, pale, eyes unfocused. His uniform was gone. His clothes were different, worn fabric, outdated stitching. Dust clung to his sleeves as if he had been somewhere abandoned. When detectives began questioning him, his hands would not stop trembling. "It didn't go up or down," he whispered. "It moved sideways." The room fell still. Imran described the doors opening to the 12th floor, but not the one he knew. The lights were dim and yellowed. The air was thick with the smell of smoke and old paper. The hallway felt familiar, but wrong, slightly narrower, slightly darker. He said people were walking past him, men in narrow ties, women in long coats, hairstyles from another decade. No one reacted to him. No one made eye contact. He found a newspaper sitting on a wooden desk near the elevator lobby. October 12th, 1963. The print felt fresh. Imran insisted he tried the stairwell. Every flight he climbed led back to the same corridor. Every door he opened led back to the elevator, as if the building had folded in on itself. Then he saw her, a woman standing near a window at the end of the hall, her expression calm, almost sad. She told him something he would repeat over and over to detectives. The elevator doesn't take you somewhere, it takes you to somewhen. When the doors opened again, he said, He ran inside without thinking, and then he was back. 3 days gone, but for him, it had only felt like hours. Before investigators could press him further, Imran collapsed in the interview room, a sudden cardiac arrest, no prior history of heart disease. Doctors called it stress-induced failure. But his hair had turned partially gray in 72 hours. He decided to write it himself. Not because he was fearless, but because the questions were louder than the fear. It was 11:47 p.m. when Daniel stepped into the hallway of the 12th floor. The offices were dark. The air felt stale, unmoving. At the far end, elevator 4 waited with its doors closed, as if it had been expecting him. He pressed the button. The light turned on immediately. Too quickly. The doors slid open without a sound. Inside, everything looked ordinary. Steel walls, overhead lights, a faint reflection of his own tense expression. He stepped in and pressed the lobby button. The doors closed. The elevator did not move. No vibration, no hum of cables, no mechanical shift. Then the lights flickered once. Twice. The floor indicator panel went dark. And when it came back on, there were no numbers, only blank space. Daniel felt it before he saw it, a change in pressure. The air grew colder, thinner. The doors opened. The hallway outside was the same shape, but wrong. The carpet was darker, the wallpaper patterned with faded gold lines. Dust floated in the air like suspended ash. There were no modern exit signs, no emergency lighting. On the wall beside the elevator hung a calendar, 1928. The year the building officially opened. Daniel stepped slowly. His footsteps echoed too loudly in the corridor. The silence felt unnatural, heavy, pressing against his ears. He moved toward the stairwell, but something pulled him downward instead. The basement. The door creaked open to reveal a narrow corridor he had never seen in modern blueprints. At the end was a locked room. The handle resisted at first, then turned. Inside, stacks of yellowed newspapers covered a long wooden table, headlines spanning decades. Missing persons, unexplained disappearances, all tied to the same address. The Marlowe Building. Daniel's hands trembled as he flipped through the dates: 1931, 1947, 1963, 1987. Different names, same pattern. Footsteps echoed behind him, slow, measured, calm. Daniel turned. The man from the footage stood in the doorway, dressed in the same dark suit, unaged, unchanged. His eyes were steady. "You found the anchor room," the man said quietly. "What is this place?" Daniel's voice barely worked. The man stepped closer. "A machine," he replied, "and it runs on people." That was the last night Elevator 4 ever worked. Security cameras showed Daniel stepping inside just before midnight. Calm, focused, determined. The doors close. There is no sign of panic, no attempt to run.
The floor indicator flickers once, then the feed cuts out for exactly 47 seconds. When the image returns, the elevator doors are open, empty. Maintenance crews later reported a catastrophic internal failure. Wiring inside the shaft had melted. Metal components were warped as if exposed to extreme heat. Yet there had been no fire alarm, no smoke, no damage to surrounding floors. The system was declared permanently inoperable. Elevator 4 was sealed. Daniel Hamid was never seen again. Police searched the building from top to bottom, thermal scans, structural inspections. Nothing. No body, no trace, only his camera bag left in the 12th floor hallway. Inside the bag was a single photograph, blurry, dim, taken in low light. It showed a wooden table covered with old newspapers, dates spanning decades, all listing disappearances from the same address, the Marlowe Building. Weeks later, during final inspections before sealing the shaft, workers discovered something else. At the bottom of the empty elevator well, where the car should have been, objects were scattered across the concrete floor. A wristwatch from the 1980s, a leather wallet dated 1963, a modern smartphone with a cracked screen and a drained battery. No human remains, just artifacts. Families were given no answers, no closure, no explanation that made sense. Official reports cited structural malfunction and unresolved evidence. The case files were eventually archived. The building still stands. Elevator 4 remains welded shut behind a steel barrier. People who work there now say the hallway feels colder near the sealed doors. They say sometimes, late at night, they hear a faint mechanical hum, as if something behind the wall is still moving. Maybe it's imagination. Maybe it's old wiring settling. Or maybe the machine was never destroyed, only disconnected. Because if time can be bent, if a building can feed on moments and people like fuel, then somewhere, in some year, the doors may still be opening, and someone is still stepping inside.
If this story gave you chills, don't let it end here. Like, subscribe, and share, and press the bell icon so you never miss the next mystery waiting in the dark.